So we actually have some virtual player autographs and meet and greets that are available in the OnePass app. So that's sort of your one-stop shop for all the information you need. The host committee is also programming 2 locations along the Riverwalk as well for Super Bowl experience. They'll be in Curtis Hickson Park, as well as something they're calling Technology Village, which is located at 101 East Whiting Street. So a lot of activity along the Riverwalk. If you were not one of the lucky ones to get a reservation at Julian B. Lane, there's still a lot of activity. Of course, Sparkman Wharf and Armature Works will have a lot of programming. CBS, our friends there, will have a network set starting the week of the game, so February 1st. So a lot of activity. Everyone's very excited having the host city in the host city team in the game, but really focusing on health and safety protocols and making that first and foremost our concern.
Thanks very much, Nicki. What we'll do now is we'll be happy to take any questions that you have. To ask a question, if you could please click the raise hand function, and then we will come to you and unmute your lines, and you can ask a question. We will start with Kyle Berger.
Okay, hi, I think I'm unmuted now. You guys hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, great. Well, my question is, with this being the home team, playing on their home field, the Buccaneers, how is it best to make this a neutral field game? Example, with the pirate ship, every time the Bucs get into the 20-yard line, they fire the cannons. When they score, they fire the cannons. And which locker rooms, with the Bucs being their home stadium, will they be allowed to use?
Well, I think between Eric and I, we can probably answer a few of those questions. Purely from just an equity standpoint, there's a lot of work that will go in to make sure that, yes, this is Raymond James Stadium, and yes, this is the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but through a lot of work and a lot of thinking, we're going to make sure that this feels very balanced and very equal. We can introduce you, and Mike can make an introduction to Tim Tobito from our game presentation team that's going to work with both the Chiefs and the Buccaneers to make sure that they're both equally represented the same way inside the stadium. Eric, if you want to just speak to kind of the logistics of locker rooms.
Absolutely. So the way that the Super Bowl works is it alternates year after year as to who the home team is for the game. And it just so happens that this happens to be an NFC year. So the Bucs are the home team in their own building under Super Bowl rules, not only for the fact that this is their home. So they will be in their home locker room, their normal locker room that they normally would use, as well as using their own practice facilities, very much like they do all season long. But that is normal. Last year it was the opposite, where the AFC team, the Chiefs, were the home team. So it just alternates each year, and this happens to be the Bucs year. So that's it just worked out that way in the building.
And as far as like cannon firing, will both teams receive the cannon firing then, going for first downs and red zone opportunities possibly?
Well, what we typically do related is we will work, as John alluded to, with the game presentation team for both clubs, and they will put in their requests as to what they like to do ritual wise within the game, and then we will review it and make sure whatever it is that we're doing, it's done equally for both teams. That has not been finalized yet for this year. But those conversations are ongoing, and it will be equitable when we come to game time between the two teams.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll go to Bo Zimmer next.
Hi there, Bo Zimmer with WTSP, the local CBS affiliate here in Tampa. Speaking of the pirate ship, that is such a iconic part of a game experience at Raymond James Stadium. Typically during Super Bowl years, it never gets used, but obviously this is a special year. Would the NFL consider allowing the firing of cannons, even if it was for both teams? I know you said that decision hadn't been made yet, but is that something that the NFL would consider?
Bo, that's a question that sits with our game presentation team, and they're doing that work now. And Mike can certainly connect you with the right people that can answer that question for you today.
Okay, thank you very much. And then a follow-up on what Nicki was saying, just to clarify, are the spots for the NFL experience sold out at this point, or are there still a few available?
For the Super Bowl experience, yeah, there's a handful of tickets left, primarily for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning of next week. So if you go into the One Pass app, it'll have all the inventory available, but it's quickly getting snapped up. We opened a few more tickets late last night, but once that inventory is gone, it's going to be gone, because we really don't want to compromise on the health and safety protocols. And just one other thing to mention, when I say reservation, they are free. The tickets are free, but it is a reservation system to Julian B. Lane Park specifically.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will go to, and apologies for, I don't see the name here, J Cask 117.
Hi, it's Josh Cassio from Fox 13. It is such an unprecedented time. It'll be an unprecedented game. I just wonder, from you folks out there, what will success look like to you? How will you feel this was a successful event when it's all said and done?
It's a great question, Josh. And I don't think it's one that we've really thought about. I think it starts with the game itself, right? You want a highly competitive, entertaining game. You want to make sure that you're creating an environment where fans that are coming to this game have a highly enjoyable time. That's what you want. And then the opportunity to celebrate the healthcare workers in the way that we're going to be able to do that for them. I think those three components is going to make a highly successful Super Bowl here in Tampa. And I have no doubt that's exactly how we're going to feel come Sunday night.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Deneysha.
Hello, I'm Deneysha Richard from Fox 4 News in Kansas City. I wanted to bring up two questions. I think this question is more so for Ed, because he may be on your team. Ed, could you tell me a little bit about the role that George Toma will play in this year's stadium setup, or what he's doing, if anything at all there? We do know that he has been out there for a couple of weeks now, but don't really know exactly what he's doing. And also the Fans in the Stands program, I think that's one of the best ways we can incorporate the fans from here in Kansas City who may not be going out to Tampa for the Super Bowl. Could you give me an update on how that's going, or if there's any openings still available, or if there's any other way that you are incorporating fans, quote unquote, virtually for this event?
Okay, well, I'll take the first part of that. As far as George goes, he's been down here for a few weeks now, and obviously George is the go-to guy. You need any information, you need any questions, you need a history lesson, he's the guy to go to. And he kind of just does whatever George wants to do. He is just a great source of information, a great knowledge, a great conversationalist. I think him and the Pope are about on the same speaking scale. But there's not a person in here that he doesn't know or hasn't run into the past 55 Super Bowls. So we were talking about that earlier, that he's the guy that was at Super Bowl I. None of us were. So like I said, he is just a walking history book, and to have him around is just a treat. Any kind of experience, any kind of past experiences, anything that's been done before, any kind of new technology that's up now, he likes to try to get into. So he's just a great source of information to have around.
Thank you.
Eric, I'll let you field the fans in the stands.
Yeah, I think between John and I, we could probably touch on that. I mean, I think their Super Bowl, I mean, the stadium in general is, as we know, with the protocols that we have in place, is limited for in-person. But there are opportunities that are out there for sure. Between we have a variety of different ways of having the fans participate. We will have a group that will be part of The Showtime Cam that has been quite popular all season in terms of celebrating touchdowns in the end zones. We will have one set up in each end zone, which we will have fans from the teams that will be able to celebrate along virtually as their teams score, which will be great. We know that we will also have some fans that we're looking to have in the stands in a cardboard format, so a cutout that we will have as well, and we will have representation equally from both clubs that will be part of that opportunity. John, I don't know if there's other things that you wanted to touch on as well.
Yeah, I think that the Fans in the Stand cutout program is just a wonderful way to celebrate a lot of different groups. There's more information on superbowl.com on how people can get involved and how they can purchase one of the cutouts. So there's a lot more information there, but it's just a great program. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I'm actually watching George now chase the guys down the line as they paint the sideline right out my window.
We'll see if we can get that into the B-roll for everybody, Ed. Okay, let's go to Jennifer from WFLA.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Two questions. One, we're talking about unprecedented times right now when it comes to, fans, limited fans are going to be able to go to the game. The halftime is probably going to look different. What are the main unique things that we'll be witnessing during the Super Bowl game?
I think that there's going to be a lot of surprises that you'll see. Eric and his team were challenged with, and you've all been around Super Bowl, so you know what it looks like. Challenged with taking everything that's normally off this field and taking it and putting it somewhere else. And that has been one of the biggest challenges that this operations team has faced. So if you think about all the sets and sideline reporters and cameras and everything that is on this field during a normal Super Bowl, and trying to find a home for it here in and around the stadium, it has just been a jigsaw puzzle. And this operations team, which I will put up against anybody as being the best in the world, has figured that out. So you're going to see a remarkable halftime show just done in a different way from a different place. You'll see America the Beautiful. You'll see the anthem. You'll just see it done in different ways, in really beautiful ways. And then some added color and some added entertainment that will ring around the stadium. So there'll be a lot of things as you tune in, or if you're here in person, that you'll see that will be unique to Super Bowl 55, and a lot of things that we'll carry with us forward and take to 56, 57 and beyond.
And the next question, when it comes to safety, you've been talking a lot about COVID-19, making sure everyone is safe. What measures will be put in place to ensure that this doesn't turn into a super spreader event, both inside the stadium and outside for the experience?
Yeah, we've had 1 million fans at games across our 17-week season, and we've had 17 weeks to learn, change, adapt, learn, change, adapt, and we just continue to do that and refine those plans. And we're very confident in what we're doing here, making sure that we have physical distancing, making sure that we are watching our vertical movements. Every fan, every guest, every person that is working at the stadium, when they arrive, will receive a KN95 mask, will receive bacterial wipes, will receive hand wipes, will receive sanitizer, will receive a safety card, and everybody will be in masks. So those are the types of precautions that we're taking. There's a lot of things that people won't see as well. The way that we're cleaning and sanitizing this building on a daily basis, air filtration, air movement in here. So we're taking every step possible. We think of it at, if you think about the start of it, and then you continue to add things to mitigate and mitigate and mitigate until you can get the risk all the way down. That's the work that we've been doing for 17 weeks, and we're very, very confident in what we've got here, and certainly ready for Sunday for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. We will go to Liz now. Liz Evora.
Hi, how are you? This is Evora with Telemundo. My question is, this has been an unprecedented season, an unprecedented Super Bowl. What have been the biggest challenge for this planning of the Super Bowl this year?
I think Eric and Nicki should take those because they've been faced with the biggest challenges.
Yeah, I mean, I think it normally takes, and it didn't it's no different for this one, over 2 years to coordinate a Super Bowl. One of the biggest challenges that we faced was having to do a lot more things like everybody else virtually. So not being able to travel, not being able to have as many people in the cities in the lead up to be able to walk through, see things, understand them in the same ways that we have done it over the years has certainly added more challenge. But in a lot of ways, it's also made things more efficient, not only as we have had meetings like everybody else, virtually, but also when we have been able to travel in smaller numbers, having those trips be much more efficient in terms of what we need to get done that we know we can only do when we're in the city. So we've had to work hand in hand with the host committee, which, as John said at the top, Rob Higgins and his team have been amazing partners, along with the Tampa Sports Authority and the Buccaneers throughout the year, and just working together to just get what we needed to get done. We've had to do virtual walkthroughs with them, taking photos and video of different spaces when we haven't been able to travel, just to keep things moving. But it's a testament to all the work and the coordination that had to get done that we are where we are at this moment, and feel the way we do right now. So Nicki, I don't know if there's other specifics you wanted to add.
Oh, that definitely nailed it. I think our partners with the Parks and Rec department here at Julian B. Lane, they're the ones we leaned on the most when it came to doing, FaceTime to go through what the grass looks like and things like that, but really leaning on them. And I think for us this year, whether it's you have a ticket to the Super Bowl or Super Bowl experience, it's really about that fan communication, the know before you go. As John mentioned, face coverings are required at the stadium. They're also required at all Super Bowl experience parks. So having our fans informed, armed with all the information that they need is really critical this year as well.
Thanks, Nicki. We'll go to Mari.
Hi, Mary Filer from the Tampa Bay Times. Just a couple of quick questions. Just in terms of, obviously, there's about $160 million that went into renovations at Raymond James, obviously over the past few years, and then there was the additional $10.4 million that went in for pandemic-related upgrades. I was curious if there were additional upgrades that were needed in order to help put on the event in terms of the media being there, in addition to the fans, and just what that looked like since the summer.
Yeah, I mean, I could start off by just saying, I mean, there's a reason why we keep coming back to Tampa. There's a reason why they continue to get Super Bowls. This city knows how to put on a Super Bowl, and the stadium for certain does as well. The enhancements and the upgrades that have happened to the facility are tremendous and huge, and are certainly things that we are taking advantage of and will be part of the overall experience for all that will be fortunate enough to be in attendance. The related to any other additional enhancements that we're doing, Super Bowl is such a unique animal where you have additional folks and facilities that have to be created and added that are just unique to Super Bowl, from all of the space that we have to build around the site for all the groups that are supporting everything we're doing, to just being able to accommodate all the groups like you alluded to, from media to broadcast to the various partners that are involved. You really have to look to see what are those things that you can do to ensure those can happen while all of the other operations of the event are able to happen as seamlessly as possible.
Thank you, Eric. And then this is just a clarification question. John, I think you said earlier the halftime show, will that actually be at Raymond James, or will that be elsewhere in addition to the national anthem this year?
No, that'll be right here at Raymond James Stadium. Inside the stadium.
Okay, we will take one more question. Mckenzie Nelson.
Hi, I'm with 41 Action News in Kansas City, and this question might be for Nicki. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the fan experience. I was wondering if, with those reservations, if there will be a time limit for fans to, go through there. And also, I know there's been a lot of like hands-on activities and fan involvement. Will that be different this year because of the COVID concerns?
Yeah, I think from the reservation perspective, yes, we have sessions that are booked for 4 hours. The expectation is you'll probably stay, 90 minutes to 2 hours, but we really want you to maintain that time session so that we can have as many fans come through the Julian B. Lane Super Bowl experience, as many as possible. So yes, so we have some sort of rigid, I would say, parameters in place for when you enter. You'll get a wristband that has your session time on it. You can enjoy the park for as long as your session is, and then we ask that you exit the park. So we have 4-hour sessions. You, of course, can walk through the park and buy merchandise or get something to eat at any time, but really entering any of the queues for any of the attractions will be limited to the session time that is on your wristband. And in terms of interactive activities, we did certainly edit down any of the high touch surfaces that we've had, touch screens and things, some of the technological advancements that we've had over the years, probably since the last time we've been here 12 years ago. It certainly has evolved, but we do have those interactive games. We have those unique photo ops. We have a museum, and the Hall of Fame busts are here. We have a locker room. We have of course, the Vince Lombardi trophy here. So we have still a lot of the fan favorites, but as John mentioned, we have a lot of behind the scenes and in front of house cleaning at all times. So there's always going to be continuous cleaning that's going to be nonstop during operational hours. When we close, it's going to be a constant cleaning effort. But certainly all the fan favorites will still be here.
And one other thing, did you guys have to limit the amount of activities and events that you have throughout the city for fans this year? I know in years past, there's been tons of different events for fans to do, at the experience and outside of the experience, whether that be pep rallies or just any other events. And I don't know if those are held by the teams or put on by the teams specifically, but did you have to limit anything because of COVID?
We have, there's certain limitations to what we can do based on CDC guidelines and what our medical experts have advised us. So I think the one thing, we didn't have this the last time we were here at Super Bowl 43, but there was a Super Bowl live event. You've seen it in Miami or Minnesota or Atlanta. That Super Bowl live event actually merged with the Super Bowl experience, and that was planned long before COVID. So we were always going to do a free outdoor fan event with the host committee. So that's one thing that's changed. I know, Eric, if you want to speak to the virtual opening night piece that had to change.
Yeah, I mean, it's an excellent point, Nicki. The opening night presented by Bolt 24 is typically the first fan facing and first time that the media are able to interview the participating teams in the Super Bowl city. We've had to shift a little bit because of all that is going on and the realities of when the teams are coming into town and to what they have done all year for media availability, and that is do it on a virtual basis. But it's also given us some really great opportunities to involve fans in a different and bigger way than we've had before, through social platforms, as well as all the highlighted content that will be on NFL Network this coming Monday evening at 8 p.m.
Yeah, and then the only other point I would make, Mckenzie, a lot of things are different, but there is still quite a bit of activity that's taking place just in a revamped format. So, for example, just about an hour ago, we sent out a release on various community-related activities that are taking place in and around the Super Bowl. So there is very much a lot of activity. It's just in a different format. And one note, as we were touched on earlier in terms of Super Bowl opening night, we're about to release the competing team media schedule for Super Bowl week. So those are the mandatory sessions that'll take place Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So those will all be virtual. If you're credentialed for the Super Bowl, whether that's with a game day credential or a week of game credential, you're automatically registered to participate in those virtual interviews. If you are not and would like to be able to participate virtually, just send a note to myself or to Morgan, and we will get you registered to do that. There is no limit per organization. As many as would like to register, we're welcome to do that. So at this point, we appreciate everyone's time, and thanks especially to John and Eric and Nicki and Ed and all of you for joining. We will email around the link to the B-roll from the stadium preparation, as well as this video. And then if you have any follow-up questions, again, please do feel free to reach out to myself or Morgan. Thanks to all of you, and look forward to seeing many of you soon in Tampa. Thank you.
Thank you.